To improve your glucose control, we will work with you to guide you through a series of phases based on glucose targets from the American Diabetes Association recommendations. Wait, what? You can improve your condition? Yes. Type 2 diabetes is a condition of too much glucose in the body, and we can help you reduce it. Keep an eye out for your setup kit. Follow the instructions inside and get excited for this journey to improving your glucose. This is Teachable Moments with April podcast, and you guessed it, I'm your host, April. If you're a returning listener and a part of the Teachable Moments with April podcast family, welcome back. For those of you who are checking me out for the first time, well, hello and welcome. To everyone listening, look for the teachable moments that are all around you. Enjoy. This is your host, April, from Teachable Moments with April podcast. Today's content is courtesy of Spiritual Support for Caregivers and Those Who Love Them by Unity Ministries. Devotional number 3, It's Okay to Be Angry by Reverend Kelly Isola. Caregiving is a complex journey that brings a flood of emotions, including gratitude, frustration, compassion, sadness, guilt, and yes, what we're going to talk about today, anger and resentment. Okay? Many of us have self-critical chatter inside of us that says, I'm inadequate or I'm not enough, because we think we shouldn't get angry. Okay? Then, when we condemn ourselves for getting angry, we wind up feeling guilty, okay? And anger surfaces again for feeling angry in the first place. You see the cycle? We become overwhelmed and oftentimes unable to forgive ourselves for how we are feeling, all of the feelings, all of them. Then, we get angry at the illness and the raw emotions and powerlessness that emerge with the illness. Okay? And anger surfaces when our role is not acknowledged and we don't have support from our other family members. Okay? It seems like a lot of us, it may fall on our shoulders. Okay? No matter how capable we are, when we start feeling these feelings, we feel, like I said, inadequate or less than, okay? Caregiving invariably will require us to rearrange our lives. I can guarantee that. And we sometimes feel resentment because our lives feel like it's been hijacked somehow. So as caregivers, we find ourselves working with all of this. And for you guys out there that are caregivers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. While simultaneously coping with our own grief as we lose the person we are caring for. Okay, the person we remember. It's the same person, of course, logically, but we've lost something. Okay? And even though they may not recall, we do. And that is a bit of a burden that comes along with the caregiving, okay? Now, I've been a caregiver several times in my life, and I have noticed that the closer I was to the person, okay, pay attention to this, the more likely I was to get angry, okay? And become more resentful because the person I loved so deeply was leaving me. That makes sense. The two most important men in my life, for example, my dad and my beloved, died within 2 years of each other. And I was their caregiver for many months prior to their deaths, okay? One relationship was riddled with conflict, and the other was not. Yet in both cases, anger and resentment, I noticed, were part of that journey, okay, for both of them. Now, throughout the years, I have learned many practices to make peace with the anger, that can emerge as a caregiver. And I want to do this now is to offer a few here, okay, for anyone, in the hope that the caregiving relationship can bring you an added sense of closeness, okay? Perhaps in a way a healing or an experience of sacredness, if you will, that you might never have known otherwise, okay? First, okay, it is imperative to admit when you are feeling angry. You have to remember, and this is something that I learned, okay? It's normal. It's a normal emotion. It's a natural feeling, okay? Remember, we are human, and no one can balance all dimensions of life seamlessly. No one. I don't care what they say. No, okay? Regardless of the anger and the circumstances in the moment, you are enough. You are enough. And your presence here, it matters. It matters. How you feel does not define you, okay? Nor can it change the fact that you were created inherently good, okay? Engage in self-compassion, which has 3 components: mindfulness, common humanity, and kindness. Now let's look at mindfulness. Mindfulness is about focus. When anger arises, I want you to pay attention to the task at hand, even if it's not a preferred task, aka unpleasant, okay? For instance, let me give you an example. If you find your mental chatter saying, I hate doing this, why can't I get some help? Or this is just awful, I don't want to do this every morning. Shift your attention to the moment-to-moment action of the task itself, okay? So now I'll put this here. For example, you'll tell yourself that, so now I'll put this here, then I put that there, okay? Next I'll do this, next I'll do that. You feel me? If you focus your attention on the little pieces of the task, it actually, believe it or not, it relaxes the brain, like unclenching your fists. You will breathe more freely and deeply, and you will start to release some of that anger. Now, the second thing that I mentioned was common humanity. What does that mean? It means it's a remembering you are not alone. And this is so important because when you're going through these things, that's the first thing that our mind goes to. We logically know we're not alone, but we feel it just the same. Suffering is a part of everyone's life, okay, whether you're a caregiver or not. It just looks different for each of us. We all struggle, okay? Make little index cards that say things like, other people feel this way, or I know I'm not alone, okay? And put them in like cupboards and drawers or on a mirror so you won't forget it. Put it places where you're going to look frequently. When you feel angry, you feel that anger coming up, close your eyes and put your hands on your heart. Feel your gentle, warm hands touching each other as a physical reminder of our common humanity. I want you to remember you are not alone. And finally, practice kindness. Now ask yourself, what are the words of kindness I personally need to hear? What would you say, let's say to your best friend? Okay, for example, something like, I know this is really hard and it makes sense you're feeling angry. I'm here for you. Now, say it to yourself. Create a few phrases of kindness that resonate with you. Words you can speak to your body, to your mind, and to your soul. And then take self-compassion break often. Okay? It doesn't take a lot of time, okay? but it will allow you to keep your heart open and help you nurture and care for yourself, which in turn helps you care for your loved ones. You were just listening to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode. We invite you to stay connected with us on our other social media platforms such as TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Also, check us out on our official podcast landing page on podpage.com/Teachable Moments with April to see all our content in one place. You can leave messages and give feedback and more.